Welcome back to our channel. It's me, Kelly again. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. When Brennan confronted Willow about drugging both him and Drew Kane, I actually gasped out loud. Here was this strong, complicated man who could have easily turned her over to the police, yet instead he offered her a shadowy deal, spy on the Quartermaine family in exchange for his silence. It felt so true to the dangerous undercurrents that have always made Port Charles such an addictive place to visit every day. What strikes me most is how this moment reveals Willow's vulnerability in a fresh light. I have always rooted for her, especially after everything she endured with her complicated past and her desire to build a stable life for her children. Yet watching her get cornered like this, I find myself asking, how much pressure can one woman take before she breaks? The writers are handling this beautifully by showing her internal struggle rather than rushing into easy answers. She begins taking small steps that betray Michael and even Chase, actions that feel both shocking and somehow inevitable given the bind she is in. These aren't the choices of a villain born. They are the desperate moves of someone fighting to protect what she holds dear. In my opinion, this differs markedly from earlier plots, where Willow's mistakes felt more accidental. Here, the stakes are deliberately higher, forcing her deeper into moral gray areas that make her far more compelling than before. Of course, the situation grows even more tangled with Michael's secret actions, hiring a private investigator to capture intimate moments between Willow and Chase for potential blackmail. That revelation hit me hard as a longtime viewer who remembers Michael as the boy who once fought so valiantly for family. It proves how betrayal breeds more betrayal in Port Charles, a theme the show has always explored with such nuance. I personally think this move makes Michael more layered than some recent storylines allowed him to be. Yes, his pain is understandable, but crossing into calculated surveillance feels like a darker evolution that raises fascinating questions about forgiveness and revenge. Will this ultimately destroy any chance of reconciliation? Or will it push Willow toward genuine change? The beauty of these developments is how quickly they build that familiar soap opera tension we all crave. One aspect I particularly appreciate is how this storyline seems to signal new creative adjustments in the show's direction. Willow now appears poised to break free from previous controlling influences and potentially betray Sidwell while aligning herself with Brennan and the WSB. To me, this represents a smart pivot, giving her agency she hasn't always possessed. Instead of remaining trapped in cycles of manipulation, she gains the opportunity to become an active player in larger schemes. I have seen enough over the decades to recognize when the writers are recalibrating a character for deeper impact, and this feels exactly like that. It proves they are listening to longtime fans who want more complexity rather than simple hero-villain divides. Willow working covertly could open doors to thrilling espionage elements mixed with the emotional family drama that defines General Hospital at its best. Let me tell you, as someone well into my retirement years, these plots keep my mind sharp and my heart engaged. I find myself discussing them with fellow viewers my age who share the same passion, and we all agree this Willow arc stands apart from previous ones. Remember how her earlier conflicts often resolved through external rescues or sudden revelations? This time, the consequences feel heavier, more personal. She must navigate a web of lies where one wrong step could cost her custody of her children and her reputation forever. The choice between becoming a true criminal or losing everything creates such delicious suspense. I keep wondering what her next meeting with Brennan will reveal, and how Chase will react if he discovers the full extent of her deceptions. These questions pull me back to the screen daily, eager for the next episode. What I love most is the human touch the show maintains, even amid the darkness. Willow's actions aren't glorified. They are portrayed with the weight they deserve, allowing us to empathize while still holding her accountable. In my view, this balance prevents the story from becoming too grim, which is crucial for keeping the audience invested over the long haul. I have watched characters like Sunny and Carly survive far worse through clever writing, and I believe Willow has that same potential if the current trajectory continues. Her possible alliance with Brennan and the WSB could mark a turning point, transforming her from someone reacting to threats into someone who actively shapes events. That shift excites me tremendously because it honors her growth while delivering the high-stakes drama we tune in for. Of course, No discussion of this arc would be complete without considering the Quartermaine family dynamics at play. Spying on them from within adds layers of tension that ripple through the entire canvas. I can already imagine the confrontations ahead, the whispered secrets, and the shocking discoveries that will inevitably surface. Will Michael's blackmail plan backfire spectacularly, forcing him to confront his own flaws? And what role might Drew Kane play once the full truth emerges? These interconnected threads make General Hospital feel alive and unpredictable again, qualities I feared might have faded in some recent years, but which now seem revitalized. Personally, I think the strongest element here is how the writers use Willow's predicament to explore themes of loyalty, survival, and redemption. It is easy to judge her decisions from our comfortable living rooms, yet when you consider the impossible position she faces, compassion naturally follows. I have always believed the best soap stories challenge us to examine our own moral boundaries, and this one does precisely that. Watching her weigh options between protecting her family and preserving her integrity creates an emotional pull that keeps me invested hour after hour. The friendly rivalries and deep affections that define relationships in Port Charles shine through even in these darker moments, reminding us why we have stayed loyal for decades. As I reflect on these latest developments, I feel genuinely optimistic about where the story is heading. The potential for Willow to turn the tables by working against Sidwell while serving Brennan's interests suggests bold new chapters ahead. It proves the show remains willing to evolve its characters in meaningful ways rather than recycling old patterns. For those of us who have followed every twist since the early Luke and Laura era, this kind of fresh energy is pure joy. I find myself counting down the days until the next revelations, imagining heated exchanges and surprising alliances that will leave us all talking. There is something deeply satisfying about seeing a character like Willow pushed to her limits and then offered a path toward greater strength. It mirrors real life in its unpredictability while delivering the escapism we all need. I have no doubt that her journey will continue to surprise and delight, blending espionage, intrigue with heartfelt family moments. To my fellow longtime fans, I say stay tuned because the heat is only increasing. The choices Willow makes now will echo through Port Charles for months to come, and I cannot wait to witness every single one of them unfold on screen. The beauty of General Hospital has always been its ability to weave personal struggles with larger mysteries, and this current arc excels at exactly that. Brennan's proposition hangs over everything like a storm cloud, yet it also carries the promise of empowerment if Willow plays her cards right. I keep asking myself whether her growing involvement with the WSB will ultimately save her or pull her further into danger. And the quick pacing of recent episodes suggests answers are coming sooner than we expect. This rapid resolution of questions while introducing new ones is masterful storytelling that respects our intelligence as mature viewers. Watching Willow prepare to release Drew from the complications she helped create feels like a turning point that humanizes her even more. I have always seen her as a woman striving for stability after so much chaos in her life. Now, by stepping back and allowing Drew to take guardianship of Scout, she is making a selfless decision that differs greatly from some of her earlier, more impulsive mistakes. In my personal view, this shift shows real growth. It is not weakness. It is survival. The new adjustment in her storyline gives her room to breathe while still keeping her entangled in Brennan's dangerous deal. I keep asking myself, will this sacrifice finally allow Willow to break free from Sidwell's influence and fully commit to working with Brennan and the WSB? The answer seems to be building towards something explosive, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. The emotional weight of handing Scout over to Drew adds such rich layers to the family dynamics we love in Port Charles. Drew has always been a steady presence, even amid his own struggles, and granting him guardianship feels like a necessary reset for everyone involved. For Willow, losing these rights brings a profound sense of loss, yet the freedom it offers could be the key to her future. This new obsession in the story, the battle between holding on and letting go, is bursting with potential. It explodes across the canvas, touching Michael's blackmail attempts, Chase's growing suspicions, and the larger Quartermaine intrigues. I truly believe this development proves the show is recalibrating Willow's path in a smarter, more mature direction. No longer just reacting to threats, she is now positioned to make active choices that could reshape her alliances and her destiny. What fascinates me most is how these changes create ripple effects that feel authentic to longtime viewers like me. Willow's decision to set Drew free and entrust Scout to his care is not presented as a simple fix. It carries heavy emotional costs that make her journey compelling and relatable. I have discussed this with friends my age who share my passion for the show, and we all agree it stands apart from older plots where custody battles dragged on without real resolution. Here, the writers deliver quick, impactful movements that heighten the suspense. Will Michael use his gathered evidence to strike at the worst moment? How will Scout adjust to this new arrangement? These questions linger in my mind, pulling me forward into the next episodes with genuine excitement. In my opinion, this explosive new chapter highlights the beauty of General Hospital's storytelling. By allowing Willow to lose certain rights while gaining personal freedom, the narrative opens doors to fresh conflicts and possible redemptions. Her potential betrayal of Sidwell in favor of Brennan's world feels even more charged now, as she operates from a place of clearer purpose. It is thrilling to witness a character evolve this way after years of watching her navigate heartbreak. The heat is undeniable, and the adjustments being made prove the show still knows how to surprise and satisfy its most dedicated fans. I find myself smiling through the tension because I know the payoff will be worth every emotional twist.